so.
That's it.
Don't stop it at all. I mean, bad boy.
She good?
Full frontal.
Okay, you can sit.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys for doing this for me. I appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about exposure to the internet and its long-term effects on the adolescent mind. So, have you ever wondered about the effects of long-term exposure to the internet and social media to the adolescent mind? What is this exposure doing to our children? How much time is too much time? What if I told you that the average child today spends a whopping 5 hours a day on the internet? If the child is a teen, that number doubles to 9 hours a day. That accounts for more than 1/3 of their day. This new generation has had more exposure to the internet than any other previous generation before them. These alarming numbers lead me to my next set of questions. Should we intervene? What long-term ramifications could this have on younger generations? Could this prolonged exposure be damaging to their minds? Are there any potential benefits to them having this easy access to a plethora of information? I'm about to answer these questions for you. Okay. Today I'll be discussing the effects that long-term exposure to the internet has on the developing mind. We will explore negative effects as well as any potential positive ones. The internet today has become an essential part of everyday life. This is as true for minors as it is for adults. Many classroom teachers even require the use of internet in their classrooms. This is concerning because we're still gathering information about the long-term effects of children growing up in an internet-dominated society. More and more studies are currently linking things like obesity, laziness, depression, and even delays in brain development to prolonged use of the internet. Additionally, many child predators use the internet as an easy way to meet children. The old TV show To Catch a Predator comes to mind. The internet essentially opens the door of your home to these types of people. Children who spend excessive amounts of time on the internet are also more likely to be self-centered and have an unhealthy preoccupation with social media and how many likes they get. Receiving likes stimulates dopamine release in the brain, similar to alcohol and drug addictions. Many children even report feelings of anxiety and stress to keep getting likes. My primary concern here with long-term exposure to, anything, is that the adolescent mind is extremely susceptible to outside influence and therefore can pick up a slew of unhealthy thoughts, ideas, and information as a result of having easy access to undesirable internet sources. Recent studies have shown that prolonged exposure to the internet can have detrimental effects on a child's brain development. If your child is on the internet, chances are they are also participate in some form of social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. Social networks can be fertile grounds for internet trolls and also hunting grounds for child predators. Children need to be aware and also know how to protect themselves in order to stay safe. My next concern is how prolonged exposure to the internet can potentially delay a child's brain development. According to the Medical Journal of Indonesia website, the behavioral patterns of excessive internet usage has similarities to substance addiction such as tolerance, withdrawal, repeated failure to reduce or quit, and impairment in daily life. It further goes on to state that brain structure changes also occur in the ventral striatum, comprising executive function in planning and reasoning, and increasing impulsive risks, resulting in loss of control over internet use. It is also believed that the light which electronic devices emit may contribute to sleep disturbance, irregular sleep patterns, nightmares, depression, and even suicidal thoughts and behaviors. My final concern is that having this ease of access to the internet may be making our children depressed, lazy, stressed out, or withdrawn from real-life relationships. A recent survey from the University of Glasgow shows that social media use at night led to poorer sleep quality, lower self-esteem, and higher levels of anxiety. Other studies have shown teens with low self-esteem grow up as depressed adults, so this can be problematic. Furthermore, today nearly 1 in 4 children are overweight or obese. This trend could be attributed to children opting to stay indoors in favor of playing video games or staring at an internet screen for hours on end. Streets with children in the yard playing ball or tag has almost become a thing of the past. The internet is the fastest spreading and most rapidly adopted technology in history. Despite all the negative effects studies have shown, there are ways to keep your child safe on the internet. It is imperative to set boundaries. There should be a set schedule and a time of when they are allowed to use the internet and ensure they stick to it. Furthermore, parents should be supervising their children on online activity and ensure they are staying safe and not going into any sites that are off limits. If possible, make sure the computer or device is in an open area and not a closed off space like the child's bedroom. Ensure your child has plenty face-to-face time with their friends in real life. It's also helpful to encourage an extracurricular activity to get them away from the screen and give them exercise and interaction with other kids their age. The internet does not have to be a detriment to your child and their learning or development. It can be a useful tool when properly handled with boundaries in place.